Yeah, obvious, we got a problem here. And it's more than just Alvin streaming Punisher. When life begins to suck, who's reporting it? Luckily, you got two friends who you won't forget. Coming live, Alvin and Fred on survival. Laughing non-stop, case drops on a cycle. Louder than intrusive thoughts off an iPhone. How they make the world seem bright with the lights off? AFs, it might as well stay up. Lies being told like that dinosaur BS. Magnifying glass to the ground if they don't see us. Having the time, roasting your favorite pizza. Bougie ain't an option, it's the wage. Take it to the grave, add moving to the place. You already know when they take the K's. Laugh the pain away, it's affirmative murder.
Mini-sodes. Hello, folks, and welcome to another Tales from the Hood mini-sode. I'm Alvin Williams. Beside me, as always, is Francel Evans. What's going on, my boss, man?
What up, man? Hey, man, we talked about on last episode.
Yes.
I watched Law Abiding Citizen, right? So I watched it.
You watched Law Abiding Citizen?
I watched it twice.
Oh, this is breaking news. Wait,
I watched it twice. I love that movie.
You took advice from me?
I watched it twice, man.
Hold on, wait. Like back to back?
I watched it last night and I watched it this morning. Man.
Please, get into it.
I love that movie, man. I love that movie. I love the mystery, and I like it's because it reminds me of two shows that I love. It reminds me of, it gives a little bit like a drop of Prison Break in it.
Okay.
I love, and it gives a drop of this show. I told you about the show Lupin, and I love a story where there's a guy who's such a genius. First of all, he's always two steps ahead of whatever you think you're at, whoever's going after him, right? Mm-hmm. And it was just, I loved it, man. And the thing about movies, the thing about movies that I don't think I've ever had a chance to like talk to you about is Jamie Foxx is in the movie, right? I love Jamie Foxx.
Great.
But this movie will make me hate, if I didn't know who Jamie Foxx was and I saw this movie for the first time, I would go like, I hate that guy. Like I take it so personal. Yeah, I take it so personal where I go like, I hate him. I can't stand him.
He just cares about his stats.
Yeah, and it's like if I like I said, if I didn't know Jamie Foxx and saw him in person, I'm like, you are a disgusting human being. Yeah.
You're the guy from Law Abiding Citizen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I love I love the movie.
A very good Gerard Butler movie. This is when Gerard Butler was still, he just stopped. Gerard Butler's now just exclusively pretty much doing movies where he's saving the president, or he's just kind of doing the same movie over and over again, like Steven Seagal.
Security type of role.
Yeah, it's like Olympus has fallen.
Yeah, right.
Pegasus has fallen. Hercules has fallen. He keeps doing all these movies over and over again. And this was one of the last movies that he did after 300, of course. That's like his big one. Right. But Law Abiding Citizen was one of the last movies I saw Gerard Butler in where I was like, oh, he's acting and the movie's interesting. It's not boring and predictable. Like, this is a great movie. It's a great like TNT rainy day on a Sunday. If it's on halfway through, I'm going to finish it. And if Law Abiding Citizen comes on my TV when I'm flipping through the channels, I'm going to stop and I'm going to finish the movie out. Every time.
I think what I hate is about me not being a movie person like you are. Is like, I don't know if did you see the movie when it came out?
I saw Law Abiding Citizen, like the year.
I hate not having that experience and that feel of not seeing it when it came out. That's the only thing I hate about like when I watch movies. I was like, damn, this is a good movie, and it came out 10 years ago. Like I can't enjoy it and have that feeling like everybody else had it when they watched it.
Yeah, this was one. I think either we were still in high school or we had just graduated or something like that. This is an older movie.
Yeah.
But it still holds up. It's still so good.
Yeah.
And he loses his mind.
Yeah, and what else? Squid Games. I binged that, knocked it out. Man.
Wait, the show, the game show?
The show.
I didn't watch the show.
You watch the show? Oh, I loved it, man. I love it. It's just, I don't like the emotional attachment that's with it, with the characters in it. That's kind of like, I'm over this, but I love it.
Because they're real people, right? It's a game show.
It's a real game show, but they just get too connected with each other. I don't like that. It's something about that I just don't like. But I'm like,
I'm here to cut throats.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to win. If I'm on that show and I'm looking up, I'm like, Cassie, I'm like, I don't know, you gotta like, I might think about doing it. You might sign up.
Yeah,
man.
You can audition for Squid
was on
Games?
the website. Yeah, you gotta like fill out stuff and then like do a video. I might, man.
Listen, if you need help making your audition,
for sure.
I got you,
for
bro.
sure,
We'll
man.
get you on Squid Games.
This look kind of fun, man.
Let's take the brand to new heights, bro. If you go on Squid Games with an Affirmative Murder T-shirt on,
oh, lit.
It's up.
Yeah, it's lit.
It's up and it's stuck. I'm telling you, and you win. All right, let's get into some emails. Sorry, I got choked up from all the excitement about Law Abiding Citizen. Fran watched it twice.
Oh man, great movie.
That's a hit for me. That's a A1 recommendation from me. I gotta pat myself on the back for that one. I knew it.
Great.
So we got our first email is from a listener. Did they say it's okay? They said it's okay to say their name. This is Robin. They sent an email regarding the If I Did It /OJ Verdict episode. Now, I don't remember what that episode entailed or what we talked about. I'm sure we made a lot of jokes at OJ Simpson's expense. He is a nut. And here we go. You guys are awesome. If you read this, thanks for contemplating my story. Regarding the If I Did It episode, I have a good story to tell you guys. So I was 16 when the OJ Simpson trial happened. To give some background, I am white and went to a predominantly black school at the time. I had been in foster care since I was 12, and before that, I lived in a suburban neighborhood with my next door neighbor, Eric, my best friend who happened to be black, and we also had several black friends in the neighborhood. And so coupling that with the fact that I was placed into foster care when I was 12, I had many black foster siblings that I formed deep bonds with. So suffice it to say, even though my father was a piece of shit racist, I thankfully had the experiences necessary not to be that. At that time of the O.J. Simpson trial, I went to a predominantly black school that had a core group of really affluent white kids, and then the rest of us, black and white, were mostly pretty low on the socioeconomic spectrum. And there was a lot of us, so the classrooms were pretty crowded. In this class, on the day of the verdict, there were only 2 white kids in the class, me and another white girl who was really a tiny, kind of timid, slight girl in size. And I was taller than her, but about 100 pounds soaking wet. When the OJ verdict was being given, my teacher pulled in a TV and let us watch it. That's just, your teacher is an instigator. Got all these kids in there. They all, all riled up. This post Rodney King, and it's 2 white people in there, and they're like, "Let's watch this very racially inflammatory trial right now, huh?" Yeah. So there was a girl sitting right next to me who looks dead at me and goes, "If they say he's guilty, I'm just gonna smack a white person."
Damn.
It was crazy. It was
in class.
That's when the teacher should have been like, "Okay, let's take let's wheel the TV back out. How about some geometry?
There's too much tension in here."
Yeah, that's Jesus. It was crazy because I had been sitting next to her before and never had any types of beef with her whatsoever. I was like, oh, shit. Much to my relief at that moment, at least, the Judge Reed said not guilty, and the bell rang at that time. Ooh. All the black kids just poured into the hall, so excited, yelling and running, banging the lockers, just letting out a ton of energy. I was like, thank you, Jesus, LOL. But I understood why they were so pumped. He was found not guilty. I remember that girl who looked at me and said she was going to slap somebody if they found him guilty, and I wonder what she thinks about it now and if she remembers saying that to me. Because I went to so many schools, 4 high schools, I don't really remember everyone, so I don't remember her name, so I can't look her up. Anyway, that was my OJ verdict experience. Thanks for being great podcasters and taking the time to listen and comment on our stories. I am curious to see what you guys have to say about this one if it gets read. Thanks a lot. And lots of love, Robin. Thank you, Robin. That was a very interesting story. That a wild time and a different perspective. I've watched so many documentaries on O.J. Simpson, and I've heard about the racial tension at the times. And there's all these videos of people watching. When they had TV storefronts, there's all these videos of people watching on the street watching the trial happen. It was the first kind of viral moment that was true crime related and court related. And so it's interesting to hear somebody's experience from that time, in the reverse of being in a space that's not designed for their comfort, because I feel like it's mostly black people and brown people's experience to be in white spaces and have to learn to adapt and then have to deal with whatever comes along with the racism or the prejudice that comes along with being in those spaces, whether it's intentional, not intentional, covert or overt. And Robin is saying, I was white and I grew up in the hood. We know plenty of white people who are white boy, or that girl who's white, but she talks with a black accent or whatever you want to call a black accent. And I don't know what category Robin falls into, but poor is poor. So if you live in the poor neighborhood and it's mostly black people and you're white, hey, we're all poor. Yeah. But it's interesting that when you drop of racial tension throughout the country and what that feels like for Robin, it's interesting to hear her be like, oh yeah, I was super happy that he was found not guilty because my life felt like it was on the line. Yeah. And while I understand,
there was a moment where the whole country was divided at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, we still are, but really,
continues to be.
Really, when that case was going on, it was just like, man, if this shit goes the opposite way, all hell may break loose. People's got
I can imagine that, you know, obviously I wasn't in school at the time, but you go to like the poorest of the poor areas, probably in Minnesota at the time when George Floyd was killed. I bet this is the tension that was alive and brewing in everyday experiences of people who normally, you know, are able to commingle with people from other races. The tensions are high. And although these kind of events happen a lot, the O.J. Simpson was such a peak one. George Floyd was such a peak one. Again, Robin, thank you for that email. That was super awesome. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Greenlight. I'm online a lot, and I feel like I'm always running across different parenting techniques for teaching kids the responsibilities of money. Whether it's chore bucks, inaccessible piggy banks, or even those magic wallets where you flip it one way and the dollar's there, you flip it the other way, the dollar's gone. That encourages kids to put money into something. But if you're looking to raise kids that are financially responsible, I have a life-saving recommendation that you need to check out. Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app made for families. It gives kids and teens easy and fun ways to gain financial literacy while giving parents peace of mind. The app includes a chores feature where you can set up recurring one-time chores customized to your family's needs and reward kids for a job well done. Fran and I are currently in the process of turning his kids into financial wizards who also know the value of a dollar. The app also comes with games that teach kids money skills in a fun and memorable way. So if you've got young kids and those birthday cards are starting to thicken up with that cash money, it might be time for you to sign up for Greenlight. So why not do it today and get your first month free when you go to greenlight.com/AMP. That's right, greenlight.com/A, M as in money, 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 P, to try Greenlight for free. All right, happy and responsible spending. Affirmative Murder is brought to you by Factor. The holiday season is a beautiful time, but very chaotic. And if you're looking for nutritious, convenient meals to keep that energy at its peak for all the stressful running around that is in your very near future, then you should try Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Factor can help you fuel up fast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You're going to save time, you're going to eat well, and you're going to stay on track with all your healthy lifestyle choices while also taking care of your holiday to-do list. Skip the stress of meal prepping over the holidays with Factor. Choose from over 35 weekly flavor-packed, fresh, never-frozen meals that support a healthy lifestyle and meet your meal preferences. All delivered right to your door and ready to eat in 2 minutes. This is convenience and deliciousness you just don't want to miss. So head over to factormeals.com/AMP50 and use the promo code AMP50 to get 50% off. Again, that's factormeals.com/AMP50. And that promo code is AMP50. Use it and get 50% off. One last time, that's Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. Fran, our next email is an audio submission.
Ooh, okay.
With a little bit of a tag at the top, right? So let me get into that. So this is an email from, they say I can use their name, Cynthia. It says, "Hi, Alvin and Fran. I heard today's Tales from the Hood and realized my audio submission was way too long. Sorry about that. I tried again and cut down the story to 7 minutes and 39 seconds. I hope that fits the bill better. Recording attached." So we're going to get into Cynthia's audio email submission right now.
It's not personal. It's never personal.
Oh, it's never personal. It's just time is time. Time works how time works. All right, here we go.
Hi, Alvin and Fran. My name is Cynthia. I submitted a too long recording for this story, so I am giving it another try. Story is regarding my dad, who passed away this year. In a nutshell about him, he was there for us financially. He always brought home a paycheck that kept us fed, a roof over our heads. But he was emotionally messed up. He had a streak of meanness. My sister and I, lately, we had referred to him as the Latino Donald Trump if Trump were a broke-ass immigrant, if that gives you a sense of what he was like. So near the end, my dad had the beginnings of dementia, but he's always very stubborn, and that just made him even more so. He also didn't speak a word of English, which made trying to help him or trying to get things, resources and whatever needs he had to him a little hard, a little tough. So I kind of had to get sneaky to keep him safe. I plugged in a GPS tracker into his car's diagnostic port and actually had to use it once or twice to find him. During COVID, I took his car away altogether, but he and my mom, like, they promised that he wouldn't drive alone. So eventually I gave it back. Well, a few days pass. My mom calls me freaking out that he left for the hardware store at 3 p.m. It's now 8 p.m. and he hasn't answered his phone. So I'm thinking, oh boy, this dude is lost because the hardware store is only like 15 minutes away and he never takes longer than an hour. So I'm like, how am I going to find him? We're in a small city, but we're still in a city. What do? I remember the GPS tracker. I downloaded on my new app. I'm hoping he plugged it in. I'm hoping the app starts working immediately, and like miraculously, all that stuff line up and it's actually working. I see the GPS move, so myself and my husband, we hop into the car and drive off to the highway to catch up to him because he's like an hour away, 2 towns over. So my husband's driving, and in the meanwhile, I'm holding like my phone that has the tracker, and also my husband's phone to get the navigational directions because the tracker doesn't do that. And on top of that, I get car sick when I'm not looking out the window and the car's in motion. So I'm busy trying to give directions while trying not to vomit, right? The next 2 hours, I'm on a Benny Hill chase. My dad's going back and forth in loops on the road. Tracker has a lag time, so we're unsure of where exactly he is because he's going all over the place. It's really dark. We don't know the town, but shockingly, like eventually he chooses the road and starts heading correctly towards his house. We keep tabs on him on the tracker. We think we're in the safe. We think he's going to be safe and get home. But of course, soon after I see the GPS that he zips by his home and keeps going. So we gear up and give chase again. We were heading towards his house, but now we redirect. So he's flying down like this main road that's kind of like a business road. And he's actually going a little bit slower than he had previously. So we're noticing on the GPS that we're slowly catching up. We still don't have eyes on him. But eventually, this keeps happening. This goes on for a few hours, and I spot a Toyota Matrix on the shoulder, and as we fly by, and then we think maybe it's him. So we make like a wild stop at some random person's driveway, and then when we turn back, we see this Matrix speed by. We're pretty sure it's him. So now my husband hits the gas, and we're like chasing him in the middle of traffic again in the dark, and unfortunately, right, like. In this highway, there's a split, and there's like all kinds of signs that say veer right, do not go left because the left becomes the southbound road, the southbound lane. We are in the northbound lane. So of course, me and my husband witness my father go straight, ignore those directions. So now all the cars are going off to the other. There's another ramp, and now it's just us in the northbound lane, and my father on the southbound going northbound.
He's going the wrong way.
So now
He's
I'm
going
in
the
a
wrong
complete
way.
panic.
Like driving
Towards
cars. Yes.
Shit.
I call 911 trying to give directions. I have no idea where the hell I am. It's dark and I'm directionally challenged. In the meantime, we're honking like crazy, and finally somehow we get my dad.
That's a new one. I never heard that one. I'm going to have to adopt that one. Directionally challenged.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up after we was finished.
Because
that's me.
Adopt them. Yeah, I'm directionally challenged as well. I like that one.
He stops in the median. My husband stops in the median as well. Fortunately, there's no barrier between the northbound and southbound. My husband runs out, grabs him, which scares the heck out of my dad because he didn't recognize my husband, who had a mask. He also doesn't speak English, and was like urging him out of the car and into another stranger's car. He was very relieved when he saw me. And then the sheriff eventually comes from the 911 call and says, like, there's nothing to do, and he's actually understanding and helps us get back in the right direction to get back home. So I drive all the way home. I drop my father off. I warn him and my mom, like, there's absolutely no way he can go anywhere without her. Otherwise, I'm taking the car permanently. And by the time I get home, it's 2:30 in the morning. So the next day, I just opened the tracker because it just doesn't seem real. And I realized that like he took like 5-10 minutes to get to the hardware. And then uh, the night, and then after that, it was 160 miles to get back home. So we were just all over the place. And we live in North Carolina. We actually ended up going to Virginia. I hadn't realized I was in Virginia and heading back home. And my house is a good like about hour away from Virginia. So that's my story. I hope it fits the bill. Alvin and Fran, I love your show. I love what you do. Good luck on the live show, and I hope you take that on the road because I would sure love to see you down in the Triangle, North Carolina. Thanks so much. Take care, guys. Bye.
Cynthia, thank you so much for your email. Your email actually, or your audio submission actually, also affirmativemurder@gmail.com. Please get them in audio, written, anything you got. We would love to hear it. This email actually, it reminds me of my grandfather, and friend, you can speak to this obviously as well if you would like to, if you agree. But you know, despite all the sadness that was going on in those moments, there were stories that came out and stories that I witnessed and were a part of that you just had to laugh about in the circumstances. I mean, there were times I would go over to my grandfather's house and there was never a moment that he didn't recognize me. Thankfully, I didn't experience that, but like he didn't have a concept of his life. So I would go over there. He'd be laying down on the bed. J-Man, that's what we call J-Man, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
You still working that job? How long you been down there? Like a year? Now, this is like he's on a recording from 10 years ago, so it's like, I just got the job. So I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's still going good. I'm like, yeah, it's still going good. I can't complain. He's like, yeah, I just retired like 2 weeks ago. It's like, and he's laid back and chilling like this is the reality.
Yeah.
And he had retired like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And then on the terms of like what she's talking about, there was one time, so my grandfather, I don't want to get too regionally specific. My grandfather lives in East Baltimore. My dad lives like on the edge of West Baltimore. And one time my grandfather, he walked outside and was sitting on the porch. And then my dad told me this story and he goes, and I'm at home and he goes, and Pop, he called me and was like, hey man, you got like some scratch? That's what he called money. You got like $15 I can hold till tomorrow. He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I got it for you. I can get it to you later today or something like that. So he said, my dad goes like 2 hours later, he walks up, because my dad has like a stand. He sells food out like around his neighborhood. He walks up to the stand. He's like, what's up, Pop? Like, what are you doing here? He's like, yeah, no, I just wanted to see about getting that scratch. He's like, yeah, man, I got you. He gave him the money. And he said, and he started to go like, all right, man, well, I'm not going to hold you. I see you busy or whatever. And my dad was like looking around like, who brought you here? Like, where's the car at? Or my grandfather walked from East Baltimore to the edge of West Baltimore. So he walked from like East Baltimore, where my grandmother and your aunt, they live next door to each other. He walked from there to Johns Hopkins.
Damn.
The hospital. He said he walked up. He was like sweaty. I didn't pay any attention to it till my brain started to be like,
start putting pieces together.
How did you get here? You know, and then he started to walk. He started to like walk his way back.
No, that's crazy.
He was like, get in the car, man. He got him in his car and drove him. It's just like, and while he's telling the story, you can't help but laugh because like that's crazy, and that helps you kind of dissociate from like, man, like he probably started walking and thought it was a short walk and then just got in over his head and then just started, and then instincts caught up like, I know what house I'm close to, so let me just keep walking until I get to the neighborhood that I know. Yeah, so it's just like, it's all these sad things that happen, but sometimes it's like, man, this shit is so crazy and sad that you can't help but just like kind of laugh it off. It's so crazy.
My mom, she stopped driving she lost a car a long time ago before it got bad. But there were times where music helped a lot. Like music is one of the things where like I don't know if it triggers something in the memory or something, but like any song that would come on that she liked, she would know it. And then like after the song go off and she didn't know that song, it's just blank after that. Or even if then if I would come in the room she would notice who I am at times, but then if I would say something like, because me and my mom used to play fight all the time when I was little, so like if I'll say, "Put your dukes up," she'll what, and that would just, it's just like an old memory, like how we used to do it. Like every time I would say that, she would pop, like she would be blank, and then like I'll say that anything with like some type of fight reference, or I'll be like, "Yeah, you better get up my face," and she'll just be like, "What?" And it's just like she ready to go, but it's like. And it was a smile and a laugh, and it was like, I don't know much, but I know this, whatever we're doing right now, whatever you bring up, whatever memory that I had from 15, 25 something years ago,
it's in there.
It never went away. So, but like as far as like driving, it's like, no, that stopped. That stopped a long time ago. No, it wasn't. My mom didn't like driving by herself anyway, so I know even if she still had a car, she probably wouldn't do nothing crazy like that. But yeah, as far as like anything with driving.
Yeah, driving is nuts.
It's absolutely nuts.
I can imagine it's hard as a child to be like when your parents get to a point where you know it's time for you to step in and you got to tell them to do something. I'm sure that's hard, especially if they give you that parent energy. Yeah. We're like, listen, you can't drive anymore. It's like, you don't tell me, I tell you. Yeah. That's got to be hard. But yeah, my grandfather, eventually they had to take his keys and, you know, all this stuff. And then he just kind of, he maligned himself to be like, yeah, you know, I'm just kind of laid up. I don't really feel like doing nothing today. Yeah. Like he just kind of made up a scenario in his mind where it's like, I'm a little tired. I don't really feel like doing anything today. But then sometimes it would be like, where's my key? Like him and my grandmother would get in arguments because it's like, where are my keys? Yeah,
it's a guy that I follow on TikTok who he kind of his dad lives with him. He has Alzheimer's dementia, and it's crazy how it's just certain things they don't fit. This guy don't forget. I watch his videos all the time. He doesn't forget. He always asks where his brother is, who passed away like 30 years ago. He always asks for his wife, he's not married to anymore. And he's always like, I gotta go to work because like, how are y'all going to take his kids? He's like, so where's this son? And he was like, and the son goes, he had his own house and family. He was like, what? But he's always like, well, I need to go to work. How are you guys going to have money?
I have responsibilities.
Yeah, how are you going to eat if I don't? And it's like, it's crazy how like that memory or muscle memory, whatever you want to call it, it's just never is like, I gotta go to work. How y'all going to eat if I'm not working? And he's like, no, we're grown. You live with us now. Yeah. It's like, it's crazy. It's wild.
A likely story. Yeah. Well, I gotta go make money to get you guys grocery, you grubby little kids. It's like, I'm 46. Yeah. So shout out to Cynthia for that. We're gonna do one more email and then we're gonna get out of here. This email is, I don't know if it says that I can say their name, but the email title is, or the header says, "Hey, this is my, was this guy trying to kidnap me? Story." Oh. And he goes, so a few years ago, I wanted to try the new Impossible Whopper at Burger King, and my parents were going to meet me there. Yeah, the one that's made out of not real meat.
Okay.
Huh. Yeah, it's a meatless meat burger. Ugh. Also, we've been on a run. Burger King, it's been some dastardly things happening at Burger King in the last couple of weeks on this podcast. I don't know what's up with that. Also, shout out to...
There was a fight in front of Caesar's Pizza the other day.
Seasons Pizza? Caesar's. Little Caesar's?
Yeah, Little Caesar's Pizza. Yeah.
Little Caesar's Pizza? Oh, that's par for the course. Was I supposed to be surprised about that?
I don't know.
That's like the aesthetic of Little Caesar's Pizza. There's people fighting outside. There's a dumpster fire.
I'm like, well, I know why I'm laughing, but like, what causes a fight in front of a Little Caesars?
You took my 5 for 5. Yeah.
Now I gotta. I don't.
Not my 5 for 5. My $5 fill. What is it? You took the one I saw.
You took my hot and ready pepperoni.
You took my hot and ready. There was a hot and ready in there. There was a meat lovers, and I wanted that one. And now I got the double cheese and onions.
I don't want Supreme. I don't want a Supreme hot. Yeah.
No. It's like, trade me. It's like, no, I'm not doing swapsies. I'll give you $6. I'll give you $1 over market value for the hot and ready. If you trade with me, I wanted the meat lovers tonight.
A brawl breaks out.
A brawl, a scrap. Yeah. A Little Caesars get down. They tie their arms together with a piece of string, and they both have knives. They have one of those Michael Jackson bad music video fights. Yeah. That's the kind of shenanigans that happen at Little Caesars Pizza. But anyway, we are at Burger King. And I was going to say shout out to Kanye West for that trash-ass line that is all over TikTok for some reason. People suck Kanye West off so much that, like, even though he's now definitively he's lost his mind, he's got little snippets of his new music
And it's
out,
trash.
and one of them,
Go ahead.
he's like, he goes, "Okay, you the king, Burger King."
That's why.
That's just crazy.
That's so elementary. Anybody can come up with that.
I was like, it's like everybody waiting for me to say the wrong thing. Okay, you the king, Burger King. It's like, I hate him so much. He's such a ridiculous person. So anyway, so our listener is at a Burger King looking to get that Impossible Whopper. And this particular Burger King is in downtown Billings, Montana, which is a fairly high crime area, but was in the middle of me and my parents. So it was this Impossible Whopper was worth dying over, according to our listeners. Like, I told my parents to meet me in this high crime area for this sandwich too. I told them, you guys got to risk life and limb for this Impossible Whopper as well. So I had been at their house earlier and was wearing jeans with some rips in them. My mom commented that her mother would never let her go out of the house in ripped jeans because back in the day, that would have just meant you were poor. Also to note, it was cold out, probably about 30 degrees. Back to Burger King. There was an RV parked in the parking lot that I saw people coming and going from. Okay, so you set up shop in the Burger King parking lot. Okay, red flag already. My guess is they were selling or doing meth. There's a big meth problem here. Okay, cool. So far, it's not sounding like this Impossible Burger is worth any of this. I will continue. I got out of my car and I was a bit uneasy already when a dude pulled up a ways away from me in his car, sort of hidden from the street by a tree. He rolls down his window, and you know that smell when you think someone must smoke 10 packs of cigarettes a day and they just reek of that cigarette/nicotine smell? That hit me instantly, and I also noticed that it just packed with clothes and blankets in the back seat. He has this long, scraggly hair and looks just kind of gross, and he says something in a really low voice. I say, "What?" And he says something again that I can't hear, so I said, "I can't hear you." And he starts motioning with his index finger like a come here motion. I don't know what that's actually called. I don't know either when you do the it's a great, something, sometimes somebody says something that I will fixate on that for the rest of my life now. What is this called when you take your finger and you close it in on itself and then extend it and close it in on itself to tell somebody come here? It's just a come here motion. Yeah. I'm sure it has some kind of like Shakespearean, like I did a West Elm wand wave and then the person comes over. I'm sure it has some kind of like name, but I don't know what it's called. So he's like, "Come here, girl." And she's like, no. So he just keeps doing that motion and he says something too quiet for me to hear again. I said, "I'm not coming over there. What are you saying?" And he finally yells, "Are you homeless?" And I yelled back, "No, I'm not fucking homeless." Just as my parents were arriving. The man in the car took off quickly. My dad said, "Did you know him?" And I said, "No." He asked me if I was homeless. And my dad said, "Probably because of the jeans." Yeah. That's great timing. That's great parent timing. So I told you, listen, you walk around in ripped jeans, people are going to think you're poor. I love how quick-witted my dad is, and it was just good to get a laugh in because I swear this dude was going around looking for a girl to get in his car, offering to get them out of the cold, and then do who knows what to them. I was so freaked out by the whole experience that it took me a while to shake it off. I know she went in there and got that damn Whopper after all this, though. She better had. I know that might sound crazy, but I could just sense that it was a bad dude with bad intentions. So did you get the... Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say Lisa. Lisa, we need a follow-up. Did you get the Impossible Whopper that day, or were you so shaken up that you guys just decided to leave? How was it? Was it worth the stress of potentially being kidnapped? Let us know. But anyway, love you guys and have been listening to the podcast since February 2018 with episode 21, Wakanda Forever, and then I binged the earlier episodes. Thanks for continuing to make awesome content that I look forward to downloading every week. Lisa, thank you so much.
I would have assumed she blew up his spot, but I heard her keep saying, "Huh?
What?"
Yeah.
hey, come here. What?
I think him calling you homeless was an insult, but you kept saying, I don't think he originally wanted to say that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to be like, hey, he's probably first it started off like, "Hey, are you hungry?" He's trying to be subtle like, "Hey, are you hungry?" What? Are you cold? Would you like to get in from the cold? It's cold outside. I can't hear you. I'm just saying, like, I have warm blankets in the car and I don't know what you're saying. Well, why don't you come come a little bit closer and I can tell you. I'm not coming over there. What do you want? Bitch, are you homeless? Do you need assistance? Do you need help?
You hard of hearing? Drive off.
Yeah, so I think that your wax buildup may have potentially saved your life that day. So there you go. I think that's a good way to look at that. So shout out to Lisa and her waxy ears and her hilarious parents, because after all that, you're like, I think I was about to be kidnapped. That guy asked me if I was homeless. He goes, yeah, it's probably because of the jeans. Yeah, it's probably the jeans. Great timing. So shout out to Lisa, shout out to Cynthia, and shout out to Robin. A couple of great emails. Affirmativemurder@gmail.com. Please, guys, get them in. We'd love to hear from you guys. It's the holiday season. Aye. Get your emails in. We'd love to hear your stories. Christmas chaos. One of my favorite Christmas movies is Four Christmases. Maybe you live a life like that, where you have to go to these different houses where you can't stand your family, but you got to do what you got to do, and you're trying to avoid certain topics, certain family members who want to borrow money. I love that kind of interpersonal family drama. So please, affirmativemurder@gmail.com. If you got that hot goss, get it into us. We'd love to hear it. Am I right, Fran?
Yeah.
Also, guys, I also want to make a quick announcement as well. Flex to ourselves. Let me get to the air horns. Remember how I said the tickets were selling like, what did I say, Fran? Warm
cakes?
Like some pretty warm cakes.
Yeah.
We have had to extend the early bird ticket numbers because we had to set it a certain number so we would make sure that we don't run out of tickets before the date. People hit the number of early bird ticket sales, so we had to up the number so that people could keep buying early bird ticket sales. So again, the early bird ticket sales are available from now, when you're hearing this, until the day after Christmas, or until Christmas, so midnight on Christmas. So December 26th, you will have to buy general admission tickets. So if you would like to get a little bit of a discount on your ticket, buy before Christmas ends. But there's still tickets left, but we are selling a lot of tickets early on. And so if we sell the number of tickets, that's the number of seats before Christmas, then you won't be able to get a seat. So I'm saying, again, the cakes are heating up. Again, I don't want to talk big talk. I want people to feel like you have time to get the tickets and come and enjoy the show. But the cakes, the cakes are getting a little bit warm. I need an oven mitt to grab these cakes right now. Eventually, they're going to be so hot I won't be able to grab them. So I'm trying to let you guys know now, if you would like to join us on January 15th, 2024 at the wonderful Zen West Roadside Cantina for a live show featuring Madison McGee from Ice Cold Case, a night of true crime conversations, cocktails, and whatever else you would like. There's going to be a bar there. You know, you guys can go and drink, maybe have a quesadilla. They have great wings, friend.
Delicious.
Go on.
Delicious.
Talk about the wings. You got 30 seconds and go. Describe the wings. Tell people what they could get, along with some great true crime discussions on that night.
They only have one flavor, I believe, right? I don't know, but I only had one flavor of the wings. Oh, very tender.
The original buffalo.
Oh yeah, that's I don't even anything I'll say. I won't be understating how good they are.
Yeah,
I don't even think I have the words to describe to you how good the wings. Try them when you go. You may get the wings and forget all about the show. That's how good they are.
It's one of those ones. If you've never had the wings before, no matter how funny we're being, Fran's coming. He's doing character work. I know Fran's been watching a lot of Jeff Dunham. He might come in with some puppets and do some puppet work. When you bite into one of these wings, it's like D-Day. Like in Saving Private Ryan, you bite, it's like wee. Like everything gets squeaky. You can't even hear words. It's like a bomb just went off. So it's a white noise, I think they call it. So it is that kind of it is a transcendent experience, the Zen West Wings. But you're not coming there for that. I'm just, you're coming there to enjoy a great night of and with your boys and your girl, Madison McGee. But the margaritas, the wings, the quesadillas, these are all things that are also party favors to go along with a night of some fun and some interesting conversations and some great topics and discussions. So January 15th, 2024, join us for a fun night. Fran, how are you feeling we're getting closer? That anxiety scale, is it starting to dwindle? Are you getting more confident as time goes on? Are you getting more nervous? Are you having ideas?
No,
characters?
I think because Christmas, I think I'll really start to get a feeling once Christmas comes by. Cause
the chaos of Christmas.
The chaos of Christmas is so much right now. I think once that comes and goes, then I think the nervousness and the excitement of I'm excited for the show, but I really think it'll start kicking into gear because now we're at the end of the year and then we're going into, it's the beginning of January. So it's like, as soon as we hit January 1st, 2024, I mean, like, it's right
right
a
there.
week and a half, 2 weeks away. So it's like, once Christmas go by, that's when I'm really going to be like, okay, it's time to lock in and kind of prepare for the show. But
what am I wearing?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
all that
I'm
stuff.
super
for sure.
excited, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun night. I'm super excited. Thank you to everybody who's bought a ticket so far, and to anybody who buys a ticket going forward. We really appreciate it. I think that it's really a callback to the first year we did the podcast in 2017. Probably like 3 months in, when our episode started getting like a couple thousand listeners. It started, the consistency started to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a discussion with you before we even started the podcast. I'm like, if we aren't asking people that we know to listen to this podcast, I don't care how many people listen. If it's 35 people that we don't know that's not listening because they're going, hey man, listen to your show, man, just the support and good job, keep it up. I never wanted any of that. And so we got that in such a cool way, and it's been amazing. To know that we can go to a brick and mortar building and say we're going to be here on this date and it's not empty. I don't care how many people show up. The fact that one person bought a ticket is amazing, let alone how many people have bought tickets. So it is very humbling, and also like this, mind-blowing, moment to be like, we're doing a show in a few weeks and there are going to be people there that we don't know, that don't live in the city, that don't live in the state, that are coming to hear us talk.
Yeah.
And so, the things that this podcast, the doors that this podcast has opened for us never ceases to amaze me. And this is just another kind of stepping stone of that emotion and that feeling of like, wow, man, this is crazy that, we just started doing this shit in my house a few years ago because we listened to some podcasts that motivated us to try to do it ourselves. And now we're doing a live show on January 15th, 2024.
Yep.
Go figure. But anyway, Affirmative Murder this Thursday. Please join us for more talk. Fran watched a movie that I recommended and he loved it. I nailed it. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And until next time, you guys be safe, and we'll see you guys later.
Deuces.